Hello Year 11, welcome to revision week 11. Today we're finishing off looking at protocols and protocol layers. Okay, so you should have in front of you, please, revision sheet 9. We are mostly finishing off the sheet. There are some sections we did not finish off last time. Okay, so revision sheet 9 in front of you, and they're ready to continue. Okay, just before we go forward, very quick recap. Remember last session, we looked at protocols. A protocol is a set of rules for how devices communicate and how data is transmitted across the network. And it defines how a communication should start and end, how it should be organized, and what devices should do if data goes missing. We looked at a LAN network where the Ethernet protocol is used. The Ethernet protocol in a LAN, which is a standard protocol which is used for all switches and things. And it's broken down into frames and sent using Ethernet cable with switches directing. We also looked at the internet, which is broken up into packets, and the TCP/IP protocol is used to transmit data with IP addresses, and routers direct the packets onwards. And we also learned about packet switching, which is the TCP/IP protocol. The TCP splits up the data into packets. The IP protocol does the packet switching, directs the packets in the middle, and then the TCP checks the packets, reassembles them, and sends a receipt to confirm that they have arrived. So TCP splits, IP directs packet switching, and TCP checks and reassembles again. Those are all the protocols we have looked at so far. However, you also need to know some other important protocols for the exam. So what are they? Okay, there are lots of other ones. We have HTTP, HTTPS, POP3 IMAP, SMTP, and FTP. These are the protocols you need to know for the exam, which we have covered. This is quickly revised them today. So, HTTP, Hypertext Transfer Protocol. It's the protocol used by web browsers to access websites and communicate with web servers. Basically, it's the protocol you type in at the start when you go to a website. Protocol used by web browsers to access websites. HTTPS, the S being secure. A more secure version of HTTP because all the data, all the information is encrypted. It encrypts all the information, so it cannot be read by third parties such as hackers. All the data is encrypted. HTTPS, secure. We have the File Transfer Protocol, FTP. It's a protocol used to access, edit, and move files between a computer and a client and a server. Between a client and a server. Protocol used to access, edit, and move files between a client and a server, such as when you might access a file on the server on the network. FTP. We've also got protocols for email, and there are 3 that you need to know. SMTP, Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. Think S for send. S for send. The protocol used to send emails and also transfer them between servers. But remember, S is for sending emails. Then we've got 2 protocols for receiving emails and downloading them. We've got the POP3 protocol, which is the post office protocol, and that one retrieves emails. However, once the email is downloaded, it deletes the email from the server. So as soon as you download it, it deletes it from the server. The other one is the IMAP protocol, the Internet Message Access Protocol. This one also receives email. However, this one, you only download a copy of the message. It keeps the original until you choose to delete it. And this is the common one that's used nowadays with things like Gmail, Hotmail. You can log on from different devices, you can read it, and then you have to choose to delete it. Good thing about that is you can access it from different devices like a mobile phone, laptop, etc. Okay. For each of the protocols on the sheet, I want you to write down what it stands for and what it basically does. What is the main purpose? What is it used for? Write down your answers and then check on the following bit of the video. Okay, ready to check your answers? We have HTTP, used by web browsers to access websites. HTTPS, secure version of HTTP, all the data is encrypted. FTP, used to access, edit, move files between devices from a client to a server. TCP and IP, we all should have from last session. TCP, remember, splits up the packets, reassembles them, and the IP is responsible for packet switching. And then our three email protocols. SMTP is used for sending emails and transferring between servers. POP3 retrieves the email, but it holds the email and then deletes it. And IMAP retrieves the email, but it only downloads a copy of the email. You choose when you want to delete it. Check your answers, add with Purple Pen, going on to the next slide. Okay, one final thing to look at today. Protocol layers. So all those protocols we've talked about are organized into layers. How are they related to cakes? Well, because they are stored in layers. It's a good way to remember it, okay? So we have different layers that work on computers. We have data link layer, network layer, transport layer, and application layer. Now you don't really need to know much about that for GCSE, but just realize that protocols are kept into layers. That is a common version there, the 4-layer model. Okay, so our layers, a layer is a group of protocols which have similar functions. So different protocols that are the same sort of job are kept together. Each layer is self-contained, so they do their job without knowing anything other what the other layers are doing. And each layer serves the layer above it, a bit like a layer in a cake supporting the one above it. So this is an example of a 4-layer model. We've got the Ethernet at the bottom, then we've got the IP address which makes connections, then we've got the TCP which splits the data into packets, and then we've got the applications layer at the top for things like emails, website, HTTP, sending and receiving files. So they are organized into layers. So why? Why do we use layers? Why are layers helpful? This is a simple answer to a question you might have in an exam. Layers are self-contained, so they can be changed without affecting other layers. They are self-contained. If you can remember that, that is a key point. They can be changed without affecting other layers. You can change one layer without affecting any of the other ones. By having layers also, it helps to break down communication into manageable pieces. Basically, it makes it easier to work on, so you can concentrate on one area without worrying about the other ones. And it also helps to have standards. So it forces companies to have compatible hardware that can work with each other rather than everything being different. So self-contained, so the layers can be changed, breaks down communication into manageable pieces, and it helps to allow for standards for compatible hardware that can work together. 3 benefits, 3 reasons why we use layers. Okay, example this could be, for example, a company could come up with a new type of communication device or protocol that works in layer 4, and the other layers would still work with it. Or, like we looked at in a previous time, a new version of IP addresses could come out, IP version 8, and you could change that in layer 2 without affecting any of the other layers. So you can change one layer or one part of protocol in a layer without affecting the other layers. That is the benefit of working in layers, because each layer is self-contained. On your sheet, what is a protocol layer and what are the advantages of using them? Okay, checking your answers. Let's have a look. What is a protocol layer? Definition of a protocol layer: a group of protocols which have similar functions. Advantages: layers are self-contained, can be changed without affecting other layers, breaks down communication into manageable pieces, and helps to provide standards for compatible hardware. So companies make compatible hardware that works with each other. And what are our examples for the different layers? Just in case you need to know it, we have Ethernet at the bottom on data, IP, TCP, and an example of a program, an application, HTTP would be suitable for there. Okay, checking your answers, purple pen, before finishing off today's quiz for revision. Okay, hopefully you've checked it, you've corrected. Time to go on to LearnCompDean revision quiz 11. As always, check each answer and redo the question if it's not correct. 100% by the end of the quiz. Good luck, see you in lesson.